Hey everybody, welcome to a Wuthering Waves video on our channel. Today we're going to be talking about the pull value of each character in Wuthering Waves, and
Based on our opinion.
based on our own opinion, yes, because we don't own all of these characters, but we own a pretty good amount of them. So we'll be talking about which characters you need to pull for and which characters are absolute trash cans. So let's get on with it. First
We
character.
shouldn't do any standard characters because those are characters anyone can get at any time. Let's just start off with Gion.
That's
He's
true.
second row, third column.
That's true. Okay.
My opinion, he's
Yeah.
he's pretty solid. I
Yeah.
say he's like
I'll
now
let you
we're
go on
getting
with
there.
it. Yeah.
Gion is, albeit the first limited 5-star to come out in the game,
Yeah.
he's still pretty solid.
Mhm.
I think he doesn't do as much like nuke damage or single target damage as someone like Carlotta or Jin C, but he's still really good. He still stands quite firmly as a pretty solid character, including in Whimpering Wastes.
But he is
Especially
the
in
goat. He is
He is the goat.
of AoE damage. Like, you cannot get more than Gion was doing back when, like, WuWa first came out. Because you don't have
He was the
Loa, right?
carry. Him and
Like,
him and Carlotta were the carries.
Loa was not a thing back in the day. So Gion at the time,
Back in the day of February.
like, Loa was not there to carry you, right? Now my Loa carries me all the time, right?
I wonder why.
We'll talk more about Loa when we get there. I do agree with you though. Yeah. He is not by any means a must pull anymore. When the game first came out, he definitely was a very good character to invest into, especially because like how free to play he was. Like, all you really needed back then was a Mortifi and a Verena, which is
his best in slot team has not changed since 1.3. It's gonna change in like 6 days with Iuno probably.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, he's still a really solid character. He does great damage, great grouping. He's as you said, F2P friendly. You just need Mortifi. He's performed at a very great level with Verena and Mortifi for a year and a half, or like a year and a quarter.
No, I gotta agree with that. And plus, like, if you look at the pull value, just by like pulling him on your account, you are practically just saying, okay, I'm just gonna get a Viva clear every single time the reset happens, right? Because
he's had some issues in the last couple resets, but that's because WuWa's had some issues in the last couple of resets. True. No fault to him.
Yeah, as long as like WuWa doesn't have like hyper HP inflated enemies, you will have absolutely zero issues clearing WuWa.
Chop.
Yeah.
Gion's just a free clear on the side. Like, you throw Gion and Mortifi and like support on that side, you don't worry about it.
Yeah. And like,
it's great.
If you are like, if you're like, I want to spend more money and invest more into this character, you have one of the best sequence nodes in the entire game. Like, I would put Gion like very close to Augusta, in my opinion, right? In my personal opinion, I rank Augusta's sequence nodes above Gion, but we'll talk about it when we get to Augusta. But yeah, so I definitely agree.
Something we did not mention.
What?
And while this is necessarily just character, also thinking about this as well, Gion's weapon in particular is a very good broad blade for multiple characters.
That's true.
It's just, especially for like Augusta, who as I said we'll get to later, he's just all in all a great pick. So if you like him, get him. If you don't, it is what it is. But like, he's still really fucking good.
He's a very good character to invest into, especially like what what Lucas said. His sword is also very good to invest into as well, because when you get his sword, you can not only put that sword on Jinshi. If you don't have Jinshi's sword, if you didn't pull for it, you can put it on Jinshi. You can also put it on Augusta, which is a very close second or third to her main sword, her main signature weapon. So I mean,
you could
all in all,
technically put it on Lupa. It's not exactly like huge. It's
Really.
only a little bit
Yeah,
for
you
Lupa,
can do
but
that.
like the damage bonus, the attack stick, and crit damage, it's just
Yeah,
all in all a great.
yeah.
Honestly, Verdant Summit is a really just good
It's
broad
a
play
it's a
overall. So
it's a
overall,
pretty
John's
good
really
it's a pretty good weapon to invest into. I personally wouldn't put it on Lupa because Lupa's sword is way too cool. But you
fucking
know,
cool. Yeah.
so I wouldn't personally do that, but you can. So yeah,
Yep.
I'll put Gianna. Now we're getting there. Next character on this list
Yunlin.
is Yunlin. Now I'll talk about Yunlin because Lucas does not own
I
her.
have I have my opinions on her as well, but
So I'll tell you guys
I'll
about
let him talk.
Yunlin. In my personal opinion, I will say Yinlin has kind of fallen into only if you really, really like them, in my personal opinion, because not only does Yinlin only kind of work with Zheng Liao now, she's also kind of fallen off where she was back in the day. Because I used to use Yinlin as a DPS, right? But I just feel like you can't do that anymore. No matter like how good your Yinlin is, you just can't do that anymore. You cannot use her as a DPS because there's just so many better DPSs out there. And pulling her in 2025, if you have a Zheng Liao on your account and you know you really, really like your Zheng Liao, you have like super like cracked out build, I would say yes, pulling for Yinlin is a pretty good idea, right? Especially if you're pulling Yinlin alongside her weapon, because her weapon is one of the best things that is in this game.
Her
right?
weapon is so fucking good. It's still like the best
Yeah.
like non-signature like DPS rectifier. The only rectifier users that wouldn't utilize String Master are the supports.
Yeah.
So Farina, Shorekeeper, and Baija.
Yeah. If I had to rank Yinlin just off of her weapon, she would be in, you know, a godly tier. Like she would be in a must pull because her weapon is too good. Her weapon is from an era that Kuro's just like learned from, that you know they should never make weapons like these ever again.
That
So,
good and that generalized.
Yeah. So her weapon's very good, but I personally do feel like she is not as good as she once was. Now, I do not own any of her sequences, so I can't like, you know, say how good how good she is with her sequences.
Most characters.
I
she's
think
better with,
I
so.
think with her sequence, she will probably be in, you know, now we're getting there, but nothing above that. I really don't think even with her S6 that she would be a
I'd
must
say
pull.
mileage may vary. I think she's more of a. Just quickly looking at her sequences. I think she just does more damage.
Yeah.
But some which is always good.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd say mileage may vary with her.
I personally would say,
Like-
you know, only if you really, really like them.
That's as well where I'd put her actually. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
agree.
nothing more to say about her. She's a very decent character, but there's just other
She's
there's just so many better sub DPSs
Product
out there
of her
now.
time. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a product of her time.
She's definitely showing her age now. I wouldn't say that she's power crept, because there's like only
There
a few
just hasn't been
characters.
anyone
Yeah.
that like can actually fully make use of her.
Yeah. Maybe
Uh,
like, you know, maybe Lucy will.
Yeah, maybe, well, we don't even know if Lucy's a character yet, but like maybe the Cyberpunk collab, maybe someone in
Maybe.
3.x.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe,
Chisa.
maybe.
Who knows, right?
Maybe Chisa.
Okay, so I would put her in only if you really, really like them. Next character, Jinshi.
Jinshi.
Okay.
Now
that's another.
that's a hard one.
Yeah. Now Jinshi is a very, very good character.
Very good character.
Like, she has
some quirks, but she's still very good.
Mhm.
Right.
She has carried me. She has carried me through like the third left side. I mean, to the right side and left side sometimes of the Tower of Adversity. So, I would
She's
definitely.
covered your ass.
I would definitely say Jinshi was a must pull, but now I'll definitely put her in Now We're Getting There. She's kind of getting like overshadowed a little bit by another character that we're gonna
She does not have a dedicated support.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about a character that is like, you know, kind of power crept her a little bit right here. We'll talk about
the Sentinel Resonator.
we'll talk about her very soon. But Jinxie is still very, very good. She's a very good investment, especially if you're like just starting to play the game, right? Because you see
She's
her
a
pretty
bit
early on in the
more
story
rough.
too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, if you're just starting the game.
Yeah, and
I'll say
honestly, she has very
Okay.
good like team synergy with a lot of characters, right? Like all you really need to put on her is a Jeja and a Shorekeeper.
Jaja. She wants specifically a character that could, you're in the right track, but a character that could do coordinated attacks and like a general support.
Yeah,
Rerena's still really good for her
yeah,
because
Marina's also pretty good.
due
For
to
her.
how her forte works, she does want characters with two different elements that could give coordinated attacks to like battery her forte. But
Mhm.
Verena still works as one, even though she's same element as Jinxie. It's just not as efficient.
Yeah.
So yeah, like someone like Contarella could still technically work as well. And I mean I've seen synergies. I've seen teams with Jinxie or from 1.1
Yeah.
where they used her with Tao Chi, but
Yeah.
that wasn't necessarily for efficiency, more so damage per screenshot.
I will definitely say Jinxie is nothing to laugh at. Like especially if you have her S6, she does like she does like a very good amount of damage.
She has a really good S1. She has
Yeah.
a really good S1.
She has a her sequence nodes are not as good as Jian, right? But
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat.
if you're trying to invest like super hard, I will definitely say like getting her S1 would probably put her up in that must pull tier. But yeah, with her weapon she's very good. Without her weapon,
Jian.
without her
She's same as
weapon, she
She's a bit
kind
more
of
rough, yeah.
struggles. She kind of struggles. I will definitely say.
She really does one.
I am
she really doesn't do crit stats.
owning Jinxie, I'm really glad that I pulled for the weapon and I got it. Because without her weapon, it's kind of hard to build her. But I will put her.
Like most characters.
I will put her, and now we're getting there.
Now we're getting there. That's a very strong point. For me to add on, she's still very strong. She's like, she has her quirks, which just make her like unique in her own way. Like you really, if you don't have Jeja, you really fucking want ER on her due to her ult. And so you can, after her nuke with her, her forte, you want to immediately swap off within the like, was it 6 seconds that you have that gives you a free swap or outro without full concerto.
Yep.
So you want to have enough ER that you have the ult up. Shangli. All right, this is my time to shine.
Yeah, I mean, so like just to clarify, I do not own Changli, so I'll let him speak.
As the
Changli
fusion
main.
connoisseur.
Yeah.
I'm a shorekeeper main actually. But
Okay.
anyway,
Well, shut up.
Changli, all in all, as a just regular hyper carry main DPS, is very good. She doesn't do as much damage per screenshot as characters you will see like Frolova, Cartesia, Sani, Augusta, Carlotta, Camellia, any of them.
Yeah.
Due to her hybrid nature. But she still does work and do wonders as a main DPS. Obviously, she has her place in the fusion team, which is not only just fun, but just still a really high DPS team.
No, I would like to say I would like to say something. I would like to say that Changli is one of the most versatile characters in this game. She can go on a team.
I was about to get into that.
Yeah, she can go on a team with Zhang Liao and work very well with the quick swap.
So yeah, no, she is like the premier quick swap character. Like Changli and Carlotta, like great quick swap. Changli, Zhang Liao. Yet again, great quick swap. They both do. Changli has such like long animations in her like work and whatnot, or in her kit, I should say. Sorry, that she essentially is just made for quick swap as well. And throw her on in like any way, like in like a fusion team, or just as a regular like hyper carry team. Either that be with Bran, Jeja, Cantarella, fucking Sanhua, because Sanhua's Sanhua, you will find that she does pretty fucking good damage in any scenario. She's also pretty easy to build as the fact that she's a sword. And regular sword characters can use Emerald of Genesis, which is just absolutely
I
fucking
mean, it's a
outstanding.
very easy sword to get because you get it like
It's a
right
very
off
easy
the
sword to
bat.
get. You can get one. Yeah, you can get it right off the bat. Obviously, you can
Yeah.
get it with your container. You get a UL-45. But you can
Mhm.
also just get it for guaranteed on the standard weapon banner, which is great.
I mean,
But
even then,
with
I feel like
Chang,
her
with
sword, she is
Chang,
very
yeah, her sword
good.
is great. Her sword is very good. It's
Yeah.
also good on like I think it's I'm pretty sure it's best in slot on Donjin. Due to Donjin's damage spread.
Mhm.
It's I mean it's a great weapon because it's a sword that does crit damage. But
Yeah.
you can use Chang Li with Emerald of Genesis. She will still perform very well. All in all, I'd put Chang Li, and now we're getting there. She's not a must pull, right? Must pull, in
Yeah.
my opinion,
No.
is a very
No.
high
No.
bar.
Yeah. No. She's not.
But
Even though I don't own her, I know that she's nowhere close to a must pull. Most of the characters
she's
that
still
we've
very
looked
fucking
at
good.
so far, they're. I
Are
mean,
not.
they need. I feel like some of them really do need another person with them to propel them
Yeah.
up to now we're getting there. But hopefully, well, I mean, hopefully we'll see some characters that come out in the future.
I'd personally say Chang Li is now we're getting there because
Yeah.
she's very versatile in her own way. And
that's why
she's fun.
I'd say she's very versatile. That's why I kind of put her in the now we're getting there spot because I feel like when you pull a Chang Li, your account value kind of goes up. You can use her with many different characters, and yeah, she's very easy to build, easy to kind of play. Like once you get used to it, but yeah, the comfort's
and
there.
she has some quirks. She has some quirks, but it's not like that really bad to deal with.
Yeah.
The tier list out there is like not in order, so it's Zheja up next. So right next to Zhang Liao.
All right.
We're going
So now
Then
with Zheja,
very good.
now with Zheja, okay. I would say she is a must pull, but in my opinion in my opinion, she's heavily being carried by Carlotta. Like Carlotta's right there. Agency, yeah. Like she's like Carlotta's right there sitting, like talking to Zheja, being like, I own you, right? I own you. Own you. I own you as a character. You're my bitch. You're my fucking bitch, right? But like jokes aside, I feel like Zheja has taken.
I feel like she's never getting there.
I feel like Zheja has taken like a bit of a spot down for must pull. She used to be very good, but I will definitely.
She is on her own. She's not a must pull, but like she very much easily.
Of course, on her own.
If you are like, yeah, I want Jin C, or yeah, I want to invest in a Carlotta team.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
she's not my
At that point in time,
yeah.
Zheja is a must pull. If you're like going for a Carlotta or a Jin C team, you just want the best for your Jin C or your Carlotta. Definitely put her there. I'll put her in now we're getting there, because of that reason. Her weapon, I really don't have much to say about it. The weapon, I personally feel like it's not really. You don't really need that weapon.
Unnecessary.
It's really not, especially if you have a string master on your account.
Or variation.
Or variation, yeah. But
well, okay, you'd only use variation if you're like trying to build it like it's purely as a battery and whatnot, which that's still valid, right? If you wanted to do damage, holy shit, Zheja's Sig is very good for her, especially if you're running her on Empyrean Anthem, which is the coordinated attack set that like 3 people have built, period, in this game's lifespan, so far. But like all in all, if you're wanting to make the most out of like your team damage, yes, getting a signature is good, but there's plenty of other weapons.
There's definitely like a
like
lot
String
more
Master,
free-to-play options. Yeah.
You could use
Which I would
Cosmic Ripples.
Honestly, I would probably encourage that you use some free-to-play options on Zheja. Her weapon's really not that necessary on your account. But yeah, next character. Next character. Now listen. I personally wouldn't put him in trash can.
I'd say mileage may vary.
Yeah.
He's very good in quick swap. He's no longer best in slot with Yidlid. He's best in slot with like a quick swap character, funnily enough. But he's still very solid. He's still very good.
Honestly, you gotta hear me out on this. Listen.
Oh god. All right.
Zhang Liao is a character that is from like a bygone era. of Wuthering Waves. He when he came out, he wasn't good. He's not good now, and
Or
he's
of the
not.
other characters on this tier
He's
list
not
are from
going to
that
be
era.
good. He's not going to be good anytime soon. So I don't want to put him in mileage may vary because of that reason. His weapon is all right, right?
It's pretty good. Only for him. And
Yeah,
like,
his weapon's all right for him, right? But again, I personally don't think
don't need it.
I'm gonna see any person just coming up and being like, I want to pull for Zhang Liao. I just really like him, because there's just multiple
Well, to be
characters
fair-
that fully
to be fair-
fully outscale him.
You've been playing since day one, so you've also I mean, I hope you probably did. You have free Zhang Liao, the Moon Chasing Festival. I
Yeah.
started in 2.0, so I didn't get to see the Moon Chasing Festival. Dude does not show up anywhere else. He's
Yeah, I mean,
mentioned, but he does not show up.
He's probably not gonna be he's probably not going to be showing up, and people
Yeah, that's
probably
fucking
will
criminal.
they'll probably feel like this is a bit of a cop out, because they were not playing the game back then, because there's a lot more new Wuthering Wave players out there now, especially after
Yeah,
2.0, and yeah, but I personally will put him in only if you really like him.
So okay, here's my take with this as well, right? He's not the premier quick swap in my opinion, as Cheng Li is, but he's still very valid in a quick swap team.
But the thing
With
is
that, he does, if you play him as a quick swap, which by the way is not, you'd probably play with Cheng Li or Carlotta, he even at S0 R0 can compete with the big dogs. When it comes to damage. So he's still very valid.
You have to get really sweaty with it though. And plus
Yeah,
the thing is,
you have to get sweaty.
the thing
But
that
we
hold him
put Cheng Li in. Now we're getting there. Also due to the fact of her versatility and quick swap. So I
but
think
that's
mileage
the
may
thing.
vary
That's the
depending on
thing.
what you want.
No, that's the thing. The
That's what
thing
mileage may
with
vary
Chang
for.
Li, the thing with Chang Li is that she is that versatility that she brings to the team. With Zhang Liao, he does not bring that much versatility, and that's what's holding him back. If he was like Chang Li, I'd put him, and now we're getting there. But I just don't
I would
think
not
that.
put, I don't think he's nowhere getting there either. I
Yeah.
think he's mileage may vary. It depends on you as the player. Right? If you're a Giga Sweat nerd,
Yeah.
you would get you're gonna get a lot of value out of him. But if you're like, yeah, bro, I play for 2 hours a week. No, I would say
again.
mileage. He's a very
Plus, he's not really that comfortable. He's not really that comfortable to play, as well.
I haven't played much.
So I would just personally put him in that.
Let's just
But
put him
yeah.
in mileage may vary. Because it's
I really
we might not get
know.
value. We wouldn't get value.
I really
but
don't
others
know.
might. It's.
I mean,
that's what mileage may vary
for this character.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, we gotta be fair.
I feel like he's in the same. he's kind of in the same boat as Yinlin, because.
Oh, well, okay. Let's table this conversation. We can get back to it later, at the end. Well, we want to rearrange.
Yeah, we'll get
next up, Shorekeeper.
Okay, so
Alright.
I don't think I really.
All right, next up, Camellia.
I don't think I really have to say much about Shorekeeper here. I mean, she is
12.5%.
the undisputed queen of Wuthering
25%
Waves.
damage.
So I mean,
15% pure damage amplification.
I mean, again, I don't really have anything to say, but I do have something to say about her weapon. I personally do feel like her weapon is a must pull if you want a really good Shorekeeper, right? If you're just, if you're a casual player, if you're not investing that much time into this character, but you just want a character who, who's a good sustain, which in that case is completely fair, right? You just get the character and you don't have to worry about the weapon. But if you are a person who actually, wants to invest in a Shorekeeper who will last him a pretty long time, I feel like pulling for the weapon is mandatory in my opinion. Because her weapon gives her the highest amount of ER that a weapon can. Besides, if you're looking at Brand
75%.
Sword, yeah, if you're looking at Brand Sword, that's
we'll talk about Brand a bit.
we'll talk about Brand later. But
Okay, so let me say something about Shorekeeper, right? Because I do agree with you on the weapon. I do see a lot of people go, oh, with an R5 variation, it's double the concerto speed. Shorekeeper doesn't have Verena levels of rotation time.
But you don't need that with Shorekeeper.
It.
I mean, that's
But
why you're
yeah,
not.
you don't need it. She's not.
You're not using Shorekeeper for that purpose. You have Verena for that purpose.
Well, let me finish though. She's the length of Shorekeeper's rotation does not come from her concerto gain. That is not that hard to get. That's not that hard to get. The hard part with her concerto gain is just getting her ult up in time, because with variation, you resonant skill, boom, you get the concerto, because variation procs based on skill, a resonant skill. Sorry. While Shortkeeper signature gives you the concerto gain based on the, per casting her liberation, which that's the slow part. I do have to say, it's really slow to gain it, her ult in time, even with 250 ER, just flat out before anything else. So I do think her weapon is a very good investment because it increases her HP, which increases some of her personal damage with her enhanced intro, which is a guaranteed crit, mind you. And it gives her more HP, which would then further increase it, which is why, as I said, it increases her enhanced intro. You get more ER, which with my somewhat mediocre rolls on my Shorekeeper, I don't need 2 ER3 costs. I can get away with an HP 3 cost, which helps you get more HP. You can run a crit damage 4 cost with her signature especially, because for anyone, people say, oh, well, if you're doing holograms, you get 1 shot. But more healing and anything else is always.
I mean, the thing is, she's also a good perk about her that she's also pretty easy to build.
Yeah, you just need
really,
ER and
you
HP.
really don't need that much on her. You just need ER and HP. ER can be like a bit of an issue, but if you have a weapon, that's not really gonna be an issue for you.
You really only.
Yeah.
I personally, and I think both of us we both personally got to 250 plus.
Yeah, I mean, I got to 250 plus.
Just for like not to have to think about it.
Yeah.
You only need 230. Right?
Yeah,
because if someone or herself
yeah.
is inside her ult, she gains 10%, and then Fallacy gives her another 10.
Yeah.
230 plus 20, 250, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
I'd say personally, her weapon is a must pull if you're like, or only a really good investment if you're just like, I only have 1 variation, and I use Verena on one side of WuWa and Shorekeeper on the other.
Yeah, that's true. If you're that, I mean, if you're in a situation that's like, you're super scarce on characters, you're like, you want to make every character count, I feel like pulling for the weapon would be a very good idea, just so like you don't have to you can count on your Shorekeeper. But yeah, next character.
It's no harm, no foul if you don't get it, right? No harm, no foul.
Yeah, no harm.
Camellia.
Next character, Camellia. Okay.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Now, okay, let's talk about Camellia for a second. So, Camellia, very good character, right? We can all agree that she's a very good character. Very good character.
Very
of course.
Strong.
No longer a must
AOE.
pull anymore. Very good AoE there. That's what carries her. That's what has been carrying her in WuWa. Personally, I feel like currently, if we're looking at Camellia, she is better in WuWa than she is in Tower Adversity. Right?
Yeah, due to her just she gets interrupted too easily.
Now
At S0.
Now she was, when she came out, a must pull character. I pulled her when she came out. And I have no regrets about that. I have her S1. Have no regrets about that. I feel like her S1 is not necessary if you want a good Camellia. It's not necessary, but it definitely helps.
It's quality of life.
It definitely helps your experience on using that character. Like as I'm saying, like that comfort. You get a lot of comfort from getting the S1. So Camellia, in my opinion, is now we're getting there.
She's also very FTP friendly.
Yeah, she's super F2P friendly. She's not that versatile like other characters, like as Changli. She's not as versatile.
Well, she's a main DPS, so you're gonna use her as a main DPS.
Yeah.
But I have to say, you can use her with Sanhwa, who you get for free on day 5, day 4.
Yeah.
Like of just logging in.
Yeah.
You can use her on the standard 5-star weapon Emerald of Genesis. For the longest time, and I still do sometimes, I have an S0R0 Camellia. I don't have her signature. I want to get it. But I run her on Emerald of Genesis, and she performs quite well.
Yeah, like,
obviously, I could do better, but like, hey.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking good.
I mean, as a person who has a signature weapon and an S1, my Camellia can be better, obviously, right? Her rolls can be better, especially her crit rate. But she's a very solid character, and she's a very easy character to play. I mean, again, comfort really matters, right? If you're not comfortable playing a character, you probably shouldn't pull them, because you're not gonna like enjoy playing the character if
You're
you
not gonna enjoy
don't.
playing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I will definitely say she's very easy to build, very very fun to play, and you know, you got that comfort factor. Her weapon, you don't really need her signature. You can definitely work with
Good.
Emerald Genesis. You can work with that. I just pulled her signature because I like how it
Yours.
looks. But
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's Camellia. Next character, Rochia.
Oh, that's not in order. That's not in order. Carlotta, do Carlotta. We're going in
Okay.
release order.
Alright,
Now
so-
we're getting there
alright.
easily. As an
Carlotta-
S1 R1 connoisseur.
Okay.
I'll-
No,
I'll
this is
swap-
this is
I'll
gonna be
swap off here.
This is gonna be a hot. It's gonna be a little bit of a hot take, or not really,
Oh no.
or not really. I will personally put Carlotta in a must pull, because now hear me out, right?
Okay.
Carlotta,
All right.
she has consistently been one of the top DPSs in this entire game,
Budged.
overthrowing Camellia, you know,
And Jitsi.
and Jinxie, yeah, correct. She has been super consistent at like doing what she does best, which is single target DPS. You will probably not find a character. You'll probably not find a character that does, you know, as good of a job at single targeted DPS as she did.
It does.
That's why I think she's a must pull. With her cons, she is.
I have her osmosis, so I can talk on that if you want.
Yeah. With her cons, she will definitely like stay in that must pull range. But even with
Obviously.
that,
Most characters with guns go must pull.
even without her cons, I personally feel like she is a very, very good DPS, and honestly, she will probably put your account value very high, right? All you really need on her is her weapon, and just
You don't
Carlotta.
even need it at that.
You don't really need the weapon, but you know, it's good. It's good to have. It's
All right.
definitely good to have.
Oh yes, it is. So, all right, as someone who has played at S0R0 Carlotta, holy shit, so many C names.
Yeah,
So many C
lot of
names.
Cs on this game,
One,
yeah.
two, three already. As someone who since 2.0 to 2.3, I played an S0R0 Carlotta. For the longest time. Then in 2.3, I got her R1, and then I accidentally got her S1 when I was trying to pull for Donjon S6. Never pull for 4 stars. I could say confidently. I mean, the deepest part of my soul, because she's carried my fucking account to the point it is currently, like on her back.
I think
Like I don't think I ever would
I
have
think we're
gotten my
both in
first.
that
Yeah, I don't think
situation.
either of us would have
Yeah.
ever gotten our first 30 out of 30 clear if not for her.
Yeah, if not for Carlotta, I probably wouldn't. You know, probably
She's
wouldn't
also
be.
voiced in English by Jennifer English, who's
That's a
my
good
Ellen
part.
Claire Obscure,
That's a good part.
and I love Claire Obscure. I don't think she is a must pull. I do think though. Fuck. Okay. No, yeah, no, I agree. Because at S0R0, which
No,
you don't really
okay,
gain much
you know,
with
I'll let
Static
you
Mist.
speak. I'll let
No,
you
no, let me
speak.
finish. Let me finish.
I'll let you
Let me finish.
speak.
At S0R0 with Static Mist, you're not really getting much of the effect. You're getting ER, which, boy, does she love ER if you don't have Zhezha. And she's only really gaining a crit rate and whatnot. She's still a very strong and very, very capable DPS that, like, genuinely, like, an F2P team for her is, like E5, S5, sorry, S5 Baija, I believe it is. I think it's S5 that gives the glacial bonus. I would say this: S6 Baija, S6 Yang Yang, and an S0 R0 Carlotta is genuinely a outstanding F2P team. It's very good. It will do really well for a lot of players. It's something that we didn't touch on. She is by far one of the easiest characters to play in this game.
I mean, yeah, that comfort. That
In my
comfort
opinion, bar
factor. I mean, as I'm saying, like
Not even from the
definitely
comfort
goes up
factor.
there.
Like just like
Yeah.
ease of use.
Yeah, she's very
Like,
easy to
even-
play.
she's a pick up and play type of character.
Yeah.
Your prep with her is you do a heavy attack, and then you do a resonant skill, and then you hell you don't even need to do
No,
that. You just resonant skill,
no,
and you're
okay,
done.
like I'll tell you my
But
reasoning. I'll tell you my reasoning to put her up there.
oh, I have one last thing.
Okay.
Her S1, I will say,
Yeah.
her S1 it's great, right? It gives you crit rate, 12.5% crit rate when you're hitting an enemy with dispersion or deconstruction. It's one of those two effects. Either way, she applies those just naturally in her kit. But I will say, she becomes a lot more rough to use in this instance if you build her the proper way, which an S1R1 Carlotta, if you want to use a crit damage echo, you really does feel like you need Shorekeeper for her crit rate buff, because you are going to be at a excruciatingly low crit rate. But the amount of damage I do with my S1R1 Carlotta and fucking Tao Chi is insane. I do think that yes, I don't even think I need to hear you out on this. Putting it into words, I do think yes.
Now hear me out.
In any instance, she's great.
Hear me out. So the reason, the main reason why I put her in must pull is because she gives you one of the best values for being an S0 R1 character. She gives you the best value to like your account for being S0 R1, and like I like that her S0 is just so good that I don't even want the S1. I really don't want the S1, even though you have that like benefit of getting more crit rate. I do not want that S1.
The crit fish.
I really don't want that. I really don't want that S1, because I mean she's just so good at S0 R1 that all you really need, you need the character and you need the weapon. That's it. That's
you
really
don't
it.
need the weapon. You don't even need the weapon. That's what I'm trying to say as well. You don't even need the weapon.
I personally feel like I personally feel like you should get the weapon for quality of life.
Obviously, I mean, quality of life, yes, but you don't even need it, considering the fact that the F2P weapon also gives crit, which I would say a character does want their weapon more, and that does hurt them in some cases if they don't have the F2P weapon. And I'm counting that as the standard 5 stars. Yes, the new battle pass weapons give crit stats, but that's $10. That's not very F2P.
Now,
Carlotta at S0R0 with S0R0 Zezha and S0R0 Shorekeeper is still consistently one of the best performing teams in the game.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, but yeah, that's
just so easy to use.
That's my main reasoning for putting her at must pull. She gives you consistent, like she's been like extremely consistent with how much damage she does, and like you really. It's just so fun to play her. Like, you know, you're just fucking pressing that tag and boom, 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 and then like she just goes above the enemy's head, dodge a lot of attacks like that too.
She is the reason why I started playing this game. So
yeah, yeah. She's very fun to play. I really don't regret pulling her at all.
Might not use her as much, but
yeah,
you still love her.
But yeah, so that's my reason for pulling her.
On her. You spent $15 on her.
I did.
Bro, Rochia.
All right, now Rochia. Okay.
Let me talk first on Rochia, because I wanna wait to hear how your opinion has changed, because I know you've had an arc with Rochia.
Definitely.
Personally, just to get it out of the way, Rochia, your mileage will vary with Rochia. If she's not only a little bit weirder to build. Because
I'll talk more about this. I'll talk more about this when he's finished.
And yeah, like she's a bit weird to build in any scenario. And her true value really is she is the best in slot support for Havoc Rover, which is still very good, but you would be using her for grouping and like WuWa for Camellia or with Frolova. But like outside of that, she doesn't really have much of a value, because yes, basic attack is a great stat to have, and her crit rate when you hit 70 gives 300 attack, I believe, just flat out, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. And all in all, I mean, she's a funny character, you know, Mamma Mia, but your mileage will vary, right? It depends very much on who you have and what you need. Because you don't even need her at S0R0 for Camellia if you have a Sanhua. If you have an S6 Sanhua, you really just don't. You don't need her.
Okay.
And I think mileage will vary. Even if you have Frolova, mileage will vary.
Now, let me say. So, as a person who has S1 R0 Rochia. I will put her in Now We're Getting There because, now hear me out. This might be a hot take. This might be a very hot take for a lot of people because, she's not been the most well-received character when she came out. But she's made a very big resurgence with the release of Perlova. And so let me talk about this, right? The reason why I say that she's in Now We're Getting There is because of like the sheer versatility that she brings to the team when you pull her out. Now, as you know, Lucas said you can just use Sanhua on the Camellia team, which I've done for a very long amount of time, ever since Camellia came out. But as soon as I got Rosia, I feel like Rochia just brings a lot more to the table in that case, because what you don't know about Sanhua is that you need to S6 her for you to get like all that value, right? From her ult and from her skill. With Rochia, you just need an S0 R1 Rochia. Now, I will talk more about the S1 when I get to it, but I feel like Rochia gives you a lot more value in the long run, and I feel like in the long run she will be better than Sanhua. That's why I'm saying that we put her in Now We're Getting There. The best part about it is that you don't need her weapon. I don't have her weapon, and that just kind of brings more value to her, right? And plus, like, how we're kind of going in the meta now, we're going the more heavy attack, more echo skill kind of like meta. So I feel like she will have a lot more relevance in the future than Sanhua.
I don't know. So okay, here's my take with this, right? Sanhua at a basic level is far more versatile because of basic attack. Rochia and Sanhua both buff basic attack damage. Sanhua what is also a thing. Sanhua's really quick rotations. She's like, you intro, you skill, you ult, you detonate, you quick swap echo skill, you're done, right? 3 seconds, right? Not even, maybe. And she has a better basic attack damage buff than Rochia. She doesn't have an elemental buff, but Sanhua just hold out more, versatility, and what really doesn't help Rochia's case.
But again,
it's not only the fact that Sanhua, you need S6 for Sanhua. The fact is, alone, even if you don't have S6 Sanhua, you get Sanhua for free. Everybody does. Like, no two ways about it. Every single person who plays Wuthering Waves has Sanhua. So I have to just say this. Your Rochia is, best in slot for Camellia, and she's best in slot for Loba. Yeah, that makes it really good on her own. But I do have to say, beyond those two instances, as well as the fact that everyone has Sanhua, it's not like a character like Tao Chi or something, or Danjin, where, not every single person has them. Your mileage will vary with Rochia due to the fact that you have Sanhua, you have Rochia at home, and, she's a bit more restrictive in that regard.
Now see.
But if you have Camellia and Perlova, she's fucking outstanding.
Now see, that's the thing, right? Okay.
That's a difference, I want to say. The difference between Rochia and other characters at buff is the fact that she just doesn't bring much beyond that, especially whenever she has such stiff competition in the basic attack damage buffing category. Your mileage will vary.
Now, okay.
That does not necessarily mean she's bad. That just means it's depending.
We can say this, right?
It varies.
Let's see. Okay, let's say you have Perloa and you have Camellia. Now you can put Sanhua on the Camellia team, and you can put Rochia on the Perlova team.
Rochia.
So I'm just saying that
you're right. She does bring value in that regard.
The thing is you get Sanhua for free. All you really need to do after that is get Rosia, and then you're literally set for your future. You have both of these characters.
Or basic attack.
The thing is, they don't need to be competing. They do not need to be competing like that, right? And with her S1, I personally would put her above Sanhua.
Well, obviously,
with her S1,
her S1's
as a person who has her S1, I am more than like glad to have that. It just brings so much more value of her out when you have that S1. And I'm just very glad that I pulled for that S1. I will definitely say that, you know, in the long run, because like they just go hand in hand in my opinion. Sanhwa and Rochia both go hand in hand. Since you get since you get Sanhwa for free, and you get Rochia when you pull for her. And the only hiccup that I can see about her is that, you know, her ER is a very high. It's like a pretty high
Her ER
cost.
isn't really an issue. You need crit rate more
And
than
you
ER.
know,
You get like 130, 140% total on her, and you're fucking fine.
yeah. But in like again,
Gets
because
the
of
crit rate.
that, I will say not like I would put her now we're getting there. Because just look like the
I,
sheer like future proofing that you're doing when you get your Sanhwa and your Rosia. Especially as a
this
free
is
to
something I
play
find
player.
funny. This is.
As a
Let me say this real quick. We've completely swapped opinions on this topic. I remember when she came out, I was like, oh, but she frees up Sanhwa. And you were like, go pound sand. I'm not pulling for her. And now look where the tables have turned. And
I like
as some people who both have Rochia,
again like
we've swapped.
yeah, but like
Oh my
like I mean
god.
again I'll say after getting her S1, you know, I've kind of understood that, you know, she is definitely a character that has a lot more relevance that I can see in the future. We'll talk more about this when we, you know, get to Sanhua, because we'll talk about Sanhua. But
We don't need to talk about Sanhwa.
I will personally put her,
For a little
and
bit.
now we're getting there.
Well, like Zhang Liao, we will table this discussion for later.
And for now, we'll put her here.
Well, we can still table the discussion. Don't worry. Peebo.
Now, Phoebe. Honestly,
Peebo's up next.
I don't really have my opinion on this. I don't like this character, and I'm not gonna be biased about it. She's again, she's a 5-star unit. She's a very good character, but you know, personally, I just don't see her having a lot more relevance in the future, like all these other characters.
That's fair.
She's a very good character. She's not very versatile at all. Like, let's
well,
be real.
okay, I wouldn't say that. So Phoebe has only, and there is you know a catch to this. I will say what I'm about to say. Phoebe when she came out, Phoebe obviously has the two stances, DPS or sub DPS, and sub DPS Phoebe does maybe like 100 DPS. She does not do any fucking damage in her sub DPS state, but as a main DPS, like even with Spectro Rover as, you know, the sub DPS and like Shorekeeper is there as well, Phoebe does some really, really good damage. And I'll say this, you get Spectro Rover with Frazzle whenever you get to the point you unlock 2.0 Masonry quest. Not when you're done with it, when you unlock it, when you start it, you get the upgrade to Spectro Rover to let him apply Frazzle. And you get Spectro Rover for free last I checked. You get Verena, which she's a standard character. Hopefully isn't too hard to get for people. And you get Phoebe. You have a very, very good main DPS. Just done and done. Very good main DPS, just like that.
No, but
Which that already puts her in a good position, because she's a good main DPS. That, yes.
What was it?
She doesn't do much, but I'm not done. Phoebe as well. If you use her as a sub DPS, you would just throw her on Moonlit. You don't really need to worry about her stats, because let's be real, the character you're going to be using Phoebe as a sub DPS for, you really aren't going to be needing to optimize her damage in Confession State, her sub DPS form or stance, because of how low the damage is at all. Phoebe in her sub DPS state goes with Zani. Zani does so much fucking damage. It's not even funny. And that's what makes her versatile. Obviously, yes. Her versatility is either you use her as a main DPS with Spectra Rover, or you use her as a sub DPS with Zani. And Yes, that is a bit restrictive, I will say. But Zani is very fucking good. She does a ton of damage, and let's be real, you don't need S0R1 Phoebe and S0R1 Zanny to perform, well with these characters. S0R0 on both, and you will still clear any content you throw them at. Phoebe's versatility doesn't come from she's a sub DPS that could perform well with multiple characters, but more so, she's a character that could perform as a very good sub DPS for one of the highest damaging teams in the game, if that's a team that people prefer. Because the Zani team is pretty fun to play and, not too hard and complex to play to begin with. Or just purely at an F2P level, you can use her as a main DPS that will absolutely cut through content with ease. You don't need to worry with her about clearing content.
Wow, you're lagging.
Am I lagging?
Yes.
Why am I lagging? Oh yeah, I see it.
Okay. Here's my
Very good.
Here's my take about it.
Now we are getting there, is what I say.
Here's my take about it. I just feel like Phoebe does not have that much demand. I would put her in only if you really, really like them. She is part of a niche.
I fully disagree.
She's part of a niche group of characters.
Major disagree.
And I just feel like if you are in a situation where you have a DPS character such as Camellia or another good DPS character like Carlotta, I don't think you would be looking at a character like Phoebe.
But that's where you're wrong.
I will definitely
You're fully wrong on that.
I will definitely say she's in a very niche category.
She is not. You're forgetting that Phoebe does on par damage with Spectral Rover, by the way, as characters like, Camellia and Jin. She is very good as a main DPS, and what you're forgetting is she does that good of damage with a character you get for free at the beginning of the game. You get a 5-star. You get at the beginning of the game. And you can get S6. I would say, personally, now we are getting there.
I would personally put her in mileage may vary.
Because I disagree with that, because that's assuming, it depends on the team you have. She doesn't have a dedicated BIS. You would run her with Spectral Rover or limited BIS. Her best in slot is a free character. If you're not going to use her as a sub DPS, which is where your mileage will vary, if not, 110% or dog shit, as a main DPS, she will perform very well for any account. So she's very good, not that bad to build. Everyone can use her. All right, so she is a very good. Sorry, I had to pause recording real quick. As I was saying, she's a very good main DPS that anyone can use. She's not like Rochia, where her value is as a sub DPS until like S3. Phoebe is either a main DPS or a sub DPS. If we were differentiating between the two, I would genuinely say the sub DPS Peebo is very much only if you really like them. Only if you really like them, because it's Zani or bust. Right? Like, no one else. But anyone can use as a main DPS for free. And she'll do tons of damage. And yes, and the kicker is, you don't really need to take anyone from any other teams. Because who else is using Rover? Cartethia? Alright. Well then what if you don't have Cartethia? Zani would, but if you have Phoebe and Zani, why aren't you using the two of them together?
I just find it
You
really
don't need
hard.
anyone else.
I just find it really hard that people would pick Phoebe over somebody else.
She's Don't get me wrong, right? Like obviously, yes. She is not like, Giga crazy, but she also doesn't have a dedicated best in slot support for her as a main DPS
But
currently,
you know
I'd say.
what? I will give
Like
you.
Chacon is alright, but
I'll give you the benefit
she's
of
a
the
very
doubt on
solid
this.
pick. Yeah, she's a
I'll
very
give you the
good
benefit of the
pick.
doubt on this.
And I'm gonna have
Sure.
to keep yapping because it's time for Bran.
Okay.
As a fusion connoisseur.
Yeah, I have nothing on this character. So
You own him, but you don't use him.
yeah. Very
Brant,
hot. Very
I
hot
love
take.
Brant.
I do not use this character at all.
Yeah. I love playing Brant. He does tons of damage. He does tons of heal. He does solid healing. He does great shielding, and he buffs my jangling. So honestly, that's enough for a win in my book. But
So
there
what would
is some
what would you
catches.
rank it?
I'm gonna get to like my review to him, then I'll say where I put him. Right.
Okay.
Brant. I mean, doing the math and assuming like lowest rolls, he could still beat breakpoints even without his signature weapon. But Brant is one of the 2 characters in the game that I can confidently say really, really, really want their signature. And Brant is, as I said, one of them. The difference between Brant S0 R0 and S0 R1 is night and day. He just does more healing, more attack, and more shielding with his signature than not. Like no 2 ways about it. Case closed. So that is a very big catch. He is a basic attack character, so you could just use Sanhua with him and in and out fucking 10 seconds and you're through Sanhua and Brand. Rotation wise, but Brant is a metric pain in the ass to build. Especially if you don't have his signature.
That definitely holds him back.
And his signature is really good for him. Now, do you need him to perform as a main DPS or a sub DPS? No. By no means do you need to, but he really does take a hit without it.
Yeah.
If you like the guy but you can't get his signature,
I'll probably hold off.
you don't need to worry. Yeah, you don't need to worry, right? You could still use him. Right? You can still use him. Bane or sub DPS, whatever the fuck you want, dude. But he really is better with it. I would say he's great on the fusion team. He buffs resident skill damage, which means you could technically use him with a character like Jinxie. I wouldn't. You could use him with a character like Carlotta. I have, and it's worked quite well. I'd say now we're getting there. Or mileage may vary. Because
I feel like
actually
because
no, mileage may vary.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I feel like because of such like steep cost of the build, because I mean again, we both know how long it took you to build, a very, very good brand. It took you a lot of
I got really lucky
time.
on my echo rolls after I got them.
Yeah,
But I got
but it
shafted
did
during his
but yeah,
rolls,
but it
so
did take you
I
a lot.
balanced out.
Yeah.
It did.
And because of the the weapon, because of the weapon. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he's a great character, right? Very good sustain, very good sub DPS, very good main DPS at times. I would definitely say mileage may vary is a good point to put him in.
Or Troop of Fools.
Yeah.
They're both the Troops of Fools is in mileage may vary. Oh, I can't speak on Cantarella.
Now, okay.
Alright, you go talk.
With Cantarella, she's a very solid DPS or sub DPS. With the DPS category, she's definitely over. She's definitely over like somebody like Jeja, right? Like you can't use Jeja as a main DPS, so in that category, she's definitely better than that. But she works very good.
You can use Jeja as a main DPS, but it's kind of a bitch. Dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, right? It's kind of like the same with Roshia, right? You can't use her as a main DPS as well. But I've used her as
way too much investment.
I've used her as a main DPS. She does a decent amount of damage. Not that great. Where she does truly shine is the sub DPS category. She is one of the best in slots for Perlova. So if you're pulling for a character like Perlova, I'd definitely say, pull for Cantarella first. Her weapon truly does carry her, in my opinion. I feel like I would lose out on a lot of her crit rate without the weapon. I wouldn't call it a must pull for the weapon, but if the weapon's right there, you have the pulls for it, I would definitely, suggest that you get the weapon. It's very good quality of life for
Oh,
her.
by the way, her weapon's crit damage.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In that lane, still.
You'd still be missing out on crit.
Yeah. You kind of just have to get a little lucky on that. But with Contarella, I feel like she's a very solid sub DPS, and she kind of has her role a little boosted by Perloa. And I mean, she has some good flexibility, right? You can use her with Jinxie, you can use her with Camellia if you don't have Rosia, but I feel like kind of
if you were just Anhwa, so
I feel like it's kind of hard not to have her, or at least not to have Rosia if you have Contarella, because you're probably going for that Havoc team. But honestly, I don't want to put it in now we're getting there.
you feel like mileage may vary on her.
I feel like she's good, and I don't know. It's very hard to like say that she's mileage may vary because like of how much she carries the Perloa team. And
Yeah, I see that.
I guess for that reason,
I'd say
I'll
now
put
we're getting
her.
there.
I'll put her in that. Yeah, I'll put her now. We're getting there because of like her flexibility with some characters. Her weapons half decent, and she's a very good sub DPS. Definitely, I would definitely say Jaja is better, but yeah, what can you really do?
Jeja does the same thing that she does, but
Yeah.
also funnels energy. So.
Yeah,
The Contarella can
the
heal, but you're not using Contarella
Yeah.
as a healer.
Of course, Brand is a better sustain. In that case, definitely like, But yeah, I'll put Contarella in. Now we're getting there. Next character, Zani. I mean, again, I really don't have
Okay.
much to say about her.
Zani, I've looked into her.
I'll probably put her
probably
in.
more than you have.
Probably put her in now we're getting there because of Phoebe.
Yeah, I'd say because of Phoebe, if we account for Phoebe, Zani is very much a must pull because Zani
Yeah.
Phoebe S0R0 both ways is just.
I mean, again,
Whew,
there's
damage.
no doubt about it. That she's a very good DPS to have. And if you're really into that
Well,
Spectral
I would say this.
Frazzle stuff, I feel like she's a very good investment.
Let me explain right now here. Zani, even without Phoebe, is still a very solid pick. If you like Zani and you're like, I don't have Phoebe yet, no harm, no foul. Just use Spectral Rover. Is it as good? By no means, no. Phoebe does so much for Zanny that it is absolutely in-fucking-sane.
Yeah.
And, Spectral Rover is very much a single target applier for Spectral Frazzle. He doesn't do it that good. With at an AoE level, and he's only pretty decent at what's it called? Single target. But like, hey, if you're using a Spectra Rover and Zanny team, you're gonna do good, right? You're gonna do just fine. You're gonna have fun with your your Zanny.
But yeah, you
And
kind of
that's
you
great.
want to use her. You want to use her with
You
Phoebe,
want to use
though.
with Phoebe.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, Zanny and Phoebe is like, I've seen people with a built-out S0R1 Zanny doing with an S00 Phoebe, mind you, doing some fucking insane numbers outside of the TOA reset cater to them. It's like they Zani is what is, as I said, like Carlotta in that vein. The Montellis stay going strong. Like, just you will clear. Like,
Yeah.
you just go, oh, no spectral resistance. All right, Zani, Phoebe, handle it. You blink and
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah,
I'd say
I'll put her now.
mileage may vary.
Oh.
I say mileage may vary because
Okay.
she's very much you. If you want to use her at her full potential, you really do need Phoebe.
She is
You
very
can't
reliant
use her
on
in
Phoebe.
WuWa.
Yeah. Like I'll definitely say
Yeah,
she's very
well,
reliant on Phoebe.
Actually, wait. Chacona can apply Frazzle at
Okay,
AoE.
but like you're not gonna use Chacona
Well, not
with,
as much,
with
not
Zanny,
as-
no.
No, you can. You can. It's just not as. It's
not
not.
as
It's by no
good.
means efficient.
Yeah.
It's only like as a like if you don't have Vivo.
Yeah, I'll put her
But
there.
Zonya's still very good, right?
Yeah,
Like if you want
she's a very
Zonny,
good
she was still good.
DPS. Yeah, she's a very good DPS.
Especially if you get her signature, right?
Yeah.
If you go like, yeah, guys, I got my Zonny here sig,
Yeah.
and you use a Spectre Rover, S6 Spectre
Yeah.
Rover, hey, bro, you
Yeah.
will still clear DOA.
Yeah, no,
Chacona.
yeah.
Okay, I think I'm gonna be talking for a
Chacona.
little while. Chacona's you don't need her, but she's very good.
Chacona, I feel like a lot of people were kind of in that, state where like they were like, holy shit, Chacona, I need this bitch, because she's really good for Cartetia. And then when Cartetia came out,
Yes.
they were like,
she is not a. You will do more damage. Don't get me wrong. You will do way more damage.
yeah,
with
you'll
her
do much
on
more
due to
damage.
her
Yeah.
buffs. And it's easy. Chacona is very much an ease of use character for Cardi.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because you can play her with just Arrow Rover and Sanhwa.
She brings a
But-
lot more ease to like Cartetia.
Ease of
and, like,
use
how you
and
wanna...
amplification.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't need Chacona for
Yeah.
Cartetia to thrive.
I'd probably say,
you use Chacona for Cartesia if you
Yeah.
want to demolish.
she's probably in that like she's probably in the category where like you're like running naked Sanhua, right? Like you pick up Chacona.
No, actually, Chacona actually does, last I checked at least, it's been a bit, a pretty solid amount of the Arrow Erosion team's DPS. Granted, Cartesia is on the team.
No, like I'm
and
talking
Arrow
about like
Rover's
I'm talking
also
about
on the team.
I'm talking about like you, of course, like you built her, right? Like she's not like in that, like she's not like that kind of naked, right? You're not just like putting
No,
random echoes on
you
her.
don't want to like, you want to, it's not as simple as like Naked Sanhwa where it's like, oh, you have Sanhwa on Moonlit and they're like level 10. Yeah, that's what it is. It's
I mean, like, yeah, no,
50,
I'm saying
it works.
I'm saying
No,
you,
you
like,
do. You need to build. You need to build Chacona.
Yeah, you need to
No,
need to
two ways
build
about it.
her.
You need to build.
You need to build.
You cannot
her.
run anything naked on her.
It's just like you don't need that weapon of hers. Like you can build.
Yeah,
you can build Chacona. You can build Chacona, do her talents, right? Like do all that, and then you can just run her. Like you don't need to like fully invest into a Chacona. Because I mean, Cartetia on her own is just so fucking good. I'll put her in mileage may vary. Like, do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, like, she's very good at ease of use.
Yeah.
Right? Like, on her own, you're not too crazy. And she's still okay as a main DPS in WuWa. She's not a main DPS in TOA. Like,
No, yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of rough, but I guess she's solid, right? She's solid. All right, Cardi. Now we're getting there.
Nah.
Oh.
I don't agree with that.
All right, explain.
So, Cartetia, okay, listen. With her being one of the strongest characters on release, let's be real, okay? She was on par with a character like Augusta on release, right? She was T0 right off the bat.
I have one little counterpoint already. Cartesia on release already had her best in slot.
That's true.
Augusta is yet to get it.
But
6 days.
that does not diminish her value. That's like that kind of brings it up more, you know? And I mean, with Augusta, we'll talk about her later. But I personally feel like if you have a Cartesia on your account, it's just your account is now a little more higher value than it was before, because you're gonna be like slashing through content, right? And especially if you're like actually investing into Cartesia, and I mean, I hope that you are, right? I feel like she's just a very good character. She has very good AoE damage. She's just a really good character in my opinion. And putting her and now we're getting there, I don't agree with that, honestly.
So okay, let me explain. Cartesia on her own, which is why like I'm trying to bounce between characters with further investment in sequences, teams, and weapons, and also at like a just basic level. Like I just started playing this game. I did a 10 pull and I got him. Feeling Cartesia on her own is still very valid, right? Like F2B Cartesia, albeit hard to play due to the lack of Chacona making your life up, sweet and all easy peasy. She's still very good, but I have to say, generally speaking, she does not that good of damage without her like team. and it's still good. And her sequences, they're great, but her S1 and S2 are more so just ways to alleviate that pain. And because her S1, I might be getting these mixed up. Forgive me. But her S1 raises the air erosion cap to what Arrow Rover sets, which that's solid, right? Don't get me wrong. It also gives a crit damage buff, but I mean, you're running your 4-4-1.
But the thing is,
Anyway.
Cartetia, I feel like she's a long investment, right? You pull her,
Yes,
of course.
but you're not. I'm still not done. Her S2 gives you all the air erosion you need, right? Her sequences, her first two are really just ease of use for lack of a her team, right? Which is good, right? Don't get me wrong, because if you're like, oh hey, I use a rover with the Peebo, and I don't have coconut, I don't got cocoa melon. I need my Cardi to do damage, and she will. All right, don't get me wrong, she will. But I don't, due to the fact that one, oh my god, sorry, I'm lagging. Yeah. Okay, we're back. Get a break. We're gonna just go through this. Fine. All right, we can keep Cardi there. Lupa. Oh, okay. Mileage may vary. I'm just gonna say that outright. I love Lupa, but her buffs are very reliant on you having two other fusion teammates. She gets a pretty significant buff.
All right.
But with the fusion team, she cooks.
Let me talk.
Hard.
Okay.
All right. Talk. We just blasted through that. Okay. Goddamn.
Let me talk. Okay.
All right. Fine. All right. Go talk about your Perlova.
As much as I hate being biased towards a character, I will put Perloa in a must pull. Now, let me explain. Right?
All right.
A lot of people might see this as, just because I'm biased, but I'm not. Okay, now I do indeed have a S6 Perloa with an R1. So my Perloa is really, really good. The thing is,
and an S1 with Chia and an S0 R1 Cantarella.
So now the thing is, Perloa is the undisputed queen of WuWa. Nobody can argue against that, right? Sure, you can say that I can use Gion and Augusta, but there's nothing that's better than Perloa right now. And I feel like Perloa is going to be so much more relevant in the future than all these other characters that are down there. I feel like with the way Perloa is, she still hasn't reached her full potential yet. And once nah, she hasn't.
She has. I will say this though, she's becoming a general DPS because based on what we know, at the very least with Qin, it's not guaranteed, it's not confirmed, but it's practically confirmed if you look at the echoes. He's going to be with 90% accuracy, I feel, or hope, he's going to be an arrow heavy attack character, which for all we know, he could be a fucking Resonance Liberation character, and I'm gonna be very sad. But for Lover does buff that, right? So she's a very general DPS, but her full potential is not acting as buddy. It's being that big as fuck damage that she brings to the table with Cantarella and Chia.
The thing is, I feel like the only thing that's holding her back is the sheer need for the weapon. If you're trying to build a Perloa, you need that weapon. There's no arguments against it. You need that weapon to build the best Perloa, right? If you don't have a weapon, I personally would I would probably just suggest not pulling for Perloa, right? She does take investment in her weapon and in two other characters. That's also holding her back. But this character is going to be great for WuWa clears and TOA. She's a bit worse in TOA, but she's still amazing in TOA, right? And she has so much she has so much versatility with all the other characters that are gonna be coming up, right? Just look at Galbarena, right? Look at a character like Gian, right? Already good. So I feel like she's a very good character to pull on your account. And her story's really good. But that's a perk. Now,
I'd say personally that I would not put her in. I would not put her in must pull. By no means I put her in a must pull. That is a giga biased. I would put her in Now We Are Getting There, because she has a incredibly steep cost. Right? If Brant, without not accounting his cost, would be Now We're Getting There, we knocked him down a peg due to his steep cost. I feel like it's only fair we do the same for Furlova. Is she good? Yes. Is she, good to be versatile? Yes. But that does not fully make up for her true potential, and really a majority of her potential comes from her signature, which let me go quickly grab the calc real quick. Let me go find it somewhere on one of my tabs. It is around a 40% increase in her damage. That is fucking insane. How? That is an alarming percent, right? She has such a steep cost.
but I feel like
Right.
she
is not a must pull.
I feel like you can do things with her
Because
that you can't do with other characters.
you can also use Augusta as a dual DPS, but she's a lot lower of a cost. I say Furlova is Now We're Getting There, because if we knock down Brant a peg due to his steep cost, we have to do the same to Furlova. Furlova has one of the steepest costs for her potential to be realized in the game. She is the steepest character to build and to play. She has.
I would not say to build.
No. I'm not gonna hear you out on this one.
I feel like she's
I'm
a
not
very
gonna hear
easy
you out on this
character
one.
to build. Definitely.
I'm not gonna hear you out on this one. No, I'm not gonna. But getting her echoes are easy to get. Right, you don't need ER, which is a perk, I will admit. But her, having not needing energy regen doesn't really excuse the alarming, just insanity of how good her weapon is, and just like in comparison to alternatives. Mind you, String Master's around like 115%, 117%. I'm using Peerwin's calculations here, which whatever opinion you may have about their tier list, as illiterate gacha players may be, their calculations are pretty fucking good. Okay. I'm gonna say 15% increase. Let me finish first. All right. String Master is a 15 to 17% increase. The baseline for Furlova being Cosmic Ripples, the standard rectifier weapon. All right. String Master is a 15 to 17%. I would, gesticulate. All right. Furlova's weapon, Lethian Elegy, at R1, mind you, R1 is over Cosmic Ripple. Just absolutely insane, right? That's already really steep. All right. Then you are asking for her to have Rochia, which was a character a lot of people didn't get, at least at first. You only got her if, they were like wanting the best for their Camellia. And, they had, some disposable income to spare. And Contarella, which Contarella's was a popular character. So I don't, look where we put her. She's very good, right? But you're asking for people to pull for 3 limited characters and a signature weapon to put her, confidently in that realized potential. And yes, she can play with other characters, but that is by no means the best to use them. It is a usable and viable way to use them, but it is by no means the best, and the best for Furlova is buy a football field and a world with that full team. She
Okay,
is not a
but
must pull because I'm taking this as a character on her own as well. I'm not going, well, at her best she's like this. No, due to her steep cost, we need to knock her down one tier at least, right? Because if I have like, and I'm doing this to be, you know, conservative with this here. If I was to go the full mile, I'd say mileage may vary because of how steep that cost is, and really how you use her, your mileage will vary. Because you can't just put her on a team with Carlotta and call it a day, right? You're gonna get nothing done with that. But if you throw her on a team with, you know, her, you know, like Gion and
okay, but,
fucking
like, you can't be
Contarella, you
fucking
will do.
brain dead with the character.
Yeah, but like I would say you're
Okay,
now we're
but
getting there. She's
let's
a very
agree.
good character,
Let's
but
agree. Let's agree on
she
one
is good.
thing. She is 100% better than Gion. I'm putting her above Gion.
And I'm not. We're ordering this shit. I was just doing it. I'm not even ordering it. I'm just saying like I'm going in order of like release date with it. But all right, go ahead.
No.
Yeah, I say she's at the very least. She's good. Don't get me wrong. You're right. She's fucking great. But that cost is steep. Heavy is the crown. I agree.
Honestly, yeah, honestly, this is
Even
good.
for a broad blade.
We
even
really
for
don't
a
need to
broad
talk.
blade.
We really don't need to talk about Augusta like
We
that.
should. We should. I mean, we're biased.
We don't
'cause we
really
both-
need to talk about Augusta like that,
Mr. Eternal
but
she is before. Let me at least say this: before Iuno, she's fucking cracked, right? You use her with a Morphe,
personally-
which Morphe 4-star.
Personally, I don't even think you really need Iuno to like make her good because she's
don't.
already a
You
really
really
good,
don't. She's
really,
already
really, and I say this with full caps. She's an amazing unit to have on your account. No matter what fucking character you have, she is a must.
You could, yeah. I'd say she's even. I will say this because you can use her in a dual DPS team. I don't. It's viable, right? Just like for Loba, but like it's not their best, obviously. You could use her because of her her outro amplifying damage by 15%. It's 10 to 15. I will have to get. I do have to, you know, give a con. She's a bit of a, you know, pain in the ass to build.
That's true,
but that is very true. I think we suffered, but she is so. Her team is so easy.
Not really me. I didn't really suffer, but
yeah, Mr. like unironically, absolutely outstanding Augusta build. It's not even fair. S6R1 outstanding Augusta build. That's bullshit.
Yeah, okay. Like I try my best not to be biased with that, since I do have an S6 R1 Augusta. I can be fully fucking biased and be like, she's like shorekeeper type shit. But
she's knocked down by the fact that she's a broad blade.
Yeah.
And you know, broad blades don't have the best.
Main thing. Her weapon's dog shit. Her weapon's trash. I will
Okay,
die
I
on
wouldn't
this
go that
hill.
far.
I will die on this hill. Her weapon's mid at best, and honestly, she deserves so much more with that broad blade. At least she deserves the same amount of fucking crit damage or crit rate with she deserves the same amount of crit rate
her fellow broad blades.
as like, you know, as fucking Gion.
Yeah,
if that was the case, then she would 100% be
I
much
understand
more easier
why.
to build. She would be much more
I
easier to
understand
build.
why.
But that's the only thing that's holding her back. And that's why I say that you really don't need her weapon. I hope and pray that, like, you know, people who are watching this video really have Verdant Summit or Ages of Harvest.
So I will play devil's advocate here. So let me play devil's advocate real quick for a second here, if you do not mind. Her weapon, it's steep. It's even with it, it's steep to build her. But I'm not gonna say it makes it perfect. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted now. Her weapon has the highest base attack in the game, bar none.
That barely really matters.
I think it's by like. No, that does matter because how echo stats work. It's multiplicative because it's percentile based. It's based on your base attack, including the weapons, I believe, and then it, you know, that goes through the percents, and then that adds it up in its own way. It's kind of weird. You get a 20. You just for 15 seconds you gain a heavy attack damage bonus by 20% heavy attack damage bonus by casting intro skill or resonance skill for 15 seconds. You're not going to be on field with Augusta for longer than that, unless you're like in the overworld. But then at that point, you're not really worrying about like hyper specific effects now, are we? And obtaining her shield, which she gets, like you you breathe with Augusta on the field, and she gains a shield, and you get a 7.2% def ignore up to that's 36%. That that effect alone makes up for it, and due to how her, especially with her sequences work, especially her S2, you would be, if she had, I understand why,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Why she's not, she doesn't have the 24% crit rate. I wish she did personally. I would not have suffered as much. Holy shit. But I'm not gonna say it's like peak best. If you want your Augusta and you have like, and you're like, you know what, I got pulls to spare, go get it. If you're like, nah, I don't mind. If you have Verdant Summit, you
Listen, the thing is, I will say, if you are planning on playing Augusta and you have Verdant Summit or Ages of Harvest, I will 100% tell you to go get S2. With an S2 Augusta, with an S2 Augusta, okay, and I might sound extremely biased on this, but with an S2 Augusta, there is no need. There is no fucking need for that weapon. You don't need that weapon. You can probably
obviously
put,
yeah, you're getting a fuck ton of crit rate, crit
you can
damage.
probably put whatever weapon.
Not.
And I feel like this is the only character in this whole game that I would say you should try to pull for dupes. I'm not encouraging. I'm not encouraging to people. I'm not encouraging people to pull for dupes. You know, because you know a lot of people are free to play, right? And as a person who was once free to play, I do know that pulls are very hard to get by, and you know you're saving for your favorite characters. But with Augusta, I feel like investing into her will give you so much more in like the future. Not just with Tower, not just with WuWa, because I mean we know who's better than WuWa. But
yeah,
no. Anyway, get that mid-green-haired general out of here.
Hell no. Okay, I disagree slightly on the dupes thing, because that's 320 pulls. That is enough. 300. That is upwards of 320 pulls. Don't get me wrong here.
Not if you get
I do agree. Dupes are good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just takes 15 pulls to get fucking S6 or 5. Just win. Just win, right? Just win. But no, I mean, I would say she does scale really well for sequences. If you're like, yeah, I got pulls to burn, or you're like, you know what, I don't give a shit, get them, right? They're great. I would say, you say if you have Verdant Summit or Ages of Harvest, get her sequences. I would agree on that with Verdant Summit. On if you wanted, you want to do a little bit more, and you're like,
what if you don't have fucking Ages of, what if you don't have Verdant Summit?
Then I would say it would be more worthwhile in the end to get Thunderflare Dominion, her signature.
Okay, but what if you don't have pulls for that? And what if you only have Ages of Harvest?
Then you don't have pulls for dupes.
Well, yeah, but but what if you have Ages of Harvest, and you know and you want to pull for that dupe? Because in my opinion, that gives you more value overall.
I disagree. No. So for the cost effectiveness of it all, like it's one upwards of 320 pulls, and now that's assuming worst case scenario, mind you. That is assuming you go to hard pity 4 times in a row, and you lose 2 50/50s. That is at that point, bro. Like that, guys, God's sending a message.
I'm telling you right now, do not listen to him. Just S6er. Get that shit over with. Just S6er. Get that shit over with, and then you can just go into lobbies and be like, you go into lobbies and be like, you know what? Look at my Augusta.
Look at my S6 Augusta. I spent money on. No, okay. I'll say this, right? If I might say that I still think her weapon is a good investment for the cost effectiveness of it, right? If we were like other gacha games, and WuWa had a 75-25 or 50-50 whatever on weapon, then I would say, yeah, just go for the fucking dupes, right? If you have Verdant Summit, especially, go get it, right? Don't get me wrong, but we're not. We're blessed to, not not have to worry about getting our weapons.
You're not really blessed. You just kind of brute forced your way through it.
It's not brute force if it's always a win. The only thing you lose is upwards of 80 pulls, but let's be real. If you're taking 80 pulls to get a weapon, bro, that's just the rest in peace. I hope your echoes roll better than your gotcha does. But
I pray for
right,
you.
if you don't have if you are I would not say this, right? If you are like, well, I could get a wave band and I could get, and like and if you won the 50-50 of Ages of Harvest one, and then yeah, sure. But just for like if 80 pulls, I, fucking Ling Yang. I see
Wait,
that
hold
shit.
up.
Ling Yang tier. Ling Yang, you're gonna piss off so many people, or like the 5 Ling Yang players. But as I'm saying, right, it's more customized to get a weapon, right? But you don't even need it, right? Just use Mortophy, use Lustrous Razor.
You don't even need her. You just use Donjin. Just become a masochist and use Donjin.
True. Just use Donjin, bro. Donjin with the training sword as Zero, blindfolded, using a taiko drum, and like getting hunted down by like the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, and your mom.
Yeah.
And just win. But yeah, no, I think we did it.
Final
there's one edit I want to make.
What?
One final I want to make. I want you to get rid of the S in Shore's Keeper.
Why?
Because her name is Shorekeeper actually.
No.
Ah, fuck. All right, cool, fine. That's it from me then.
Final words. I'd probably want to change Rosia into now we're getting there. And
I know.
That's probably the only other change I'd make. Ling Yang stays firmly at the Ling Yang tier. Otherwise, I feel like this is a pretty good, concise tier list. Now, of course, a lot of people might disagree with a lot of things, and we're open to criticism. Especially,
everyone plays this game differently.
Yeah, especially with a lot of characters. There are a lot of different characters, a lot of different people out there who like different, who like characters. Somebody might say, push fucking Kilcharo in a must pull. Even though you're wrong.
I mean, Kolkaro's pretty fucking good.
You're fucking
just
wrong.
Have to
You're
like,
dead wrong.
You have to sweat off your ass.
You're dead wrong, and I know you like torturing yourself with playing that character, but it's okay. It's completely understandable.
I mean, he's good, but you just have to like sweat your nuts off.
Yeah. And also, if you guys are wondering why we didn't put all these characters in the tier list as well, is because we're not counting the 4 stars and the standard 5-star characters.
4 stars, standard 5 stars are characters you can get anytime, anywhere. Ling Yang goes in Ling Yang tier because he sucks. He fucked up my pulls. He deserves to go there. Yeah. Everyone else though, obviously,
I'd probably put Verena in the Shorekeeper tier because she's very good. She's very good value.
I'd put her in must pull. Shorekeeper just you don't have to think anymore. Shorekeeper lets you have a dug.
But in some terms, Verena is better because of the extra concerto.
Or rotation time, yeah. WuWa especially. WuWa especially.
Yeah,
she's
definitely.
Really good.
But yeah,
if you have a weaker team,
besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video whenever it comes out, and yeah, hope you guys like this. If you guys do,
come out and shut it.
Give it a like and please subscribe, and we'll make some more brain rot content soon, hopefully. Bye bye.
Hopefully. Do you have
anything to say?
Please check out Twitch streamer Naku's Twitch channel.
Yes, please.
He does
Twitch.Naku_Naku. Okay. I do polls on there. I showcase characters on there. I also do 100% maps whenever the new map comes out, whatever, right?
He also yells at me.
You see exclusive Veil content. You see debates. You see me dying on Minecraft a lot. Shit was fucking horrible. But yeah, I hope to catch you guys soon. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.
Ciao.